Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog at stampwithelaine.com. Today I'm featuring this celebration stamp set called Amazing Phrases. You can qualify for this free stamp set with a purchase of £90. I'm using a set of dies in the annual catalogue, which you can find on page 169. It's rather a high ticket item. It's £41 for this set of dies. It coordinates with the Butterfly Brilliance stamp. It's a background stamp, so it's only a single stamp, but it will stamp all these butterflies in one go. This stamp and set of dies isn't new. It was in the 2021 to 2022 annual catalogue, but it's transferred into the 2022 to 23 catalogue. So the Brilliance stamp, this die will cut out all the butterflies at the same time, and you get rather a lot of dies for £41, so it's worth the investment. I'm going to be using this die from this set. I'm also using the Stylish Shapes dies. This is £28 for this set, but again you've got a nest of circles, squares and tags, and this retails at £28. It's a standalone set, so it doesn't actually go with any particular stamp set. I'll be doing a little bit of embossing on here, and if you're looking for ideas on getting up to the £90, one of the suggestions is this embossing additions toolkit. So that's £26. You get this, the brush, a tweezer and the embossing buddy. The 1/8 inch or 3.2mm Sweet Sorbet metallic ribbon, Versamark and Starry Sky ink pads, the Basics Essentials embossing powder, you need the white one, and of course the Stamparatus. The card base is in Sweet Sorbet, that's 8¼ inches by 5 7/8. In metric that will be 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters and folded in half. There's a matte layer in Starry Sky and 2 pieces of basic white cardstock, all cut at 5½ by 3 3/4, and in metric that's 14 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. First I'm going to stamp the sentiment, I'm the worst, because I'm going to steal the cardstock from inside here. Probably best to do it this way. So bring in the dust buddy, the Versamark ink. I've taken the stamp from the Amazing Phrases celebration stamp set. Just sprinkle it with embossing powder. Bring in the heat tool and just hold it against the embossing powder until it changes, and then move the heat tool along as it melts. Bring in the die and I'll cut that. Set that aside. Now I'm going to glue this to the card base, and I want to glue it at an angle. Make sure it's inside the line. Next I want to set up my stamp so it's within that hinge. So now we're going to do our ombre hinge stamping. The stamp is the same width as the hinge, so I'm going to ink it up just the once, and without re-inking I'm going to move it down one hinge and carry on stamping. Now I'm going to reposition the stamp it parallel with this on the other side. Close the plate and pick up the stamp and ink it up again at full strength. And stamp. And move it up in the opposite direction. Now I'm going to put dimensionals on the underside of this, because this one is the same colour when it gets up to the middle. That's why I decided to put a banner on there. Now I'm going to glue this piece straight, leaving an even border all round. Actually, I think maybe I should trim it a little bit. So try and make it even. So just a 1/16 of an inch off each side. I can't use the guillotine with the longer bit. I just have to use this 1/16. So in fact this piece should be 5 3/8 by 3 5/8, which means that's 13.5 by 9 centimeters. Glue that on. And glue that straight. Bring in the ribbon and tie a bow. This mesh ribbon is quite easy to work with. And because it's mesh, you can pull it apart to make it more raggedy. You want that tight. So pull it apart like that. Grab a glue dot and stick it behind. Fray that a bit as well. Then I shall cut a butterfly, a scrap of starry sky. So I've die cut my butterfly and I'm just going to roll this glue dot so it's nice and narrow and stick it on the body of the butterfly and then pop it down here. We want to tackle the inside of the card, so I'm just going to put "So Sorry" there. Pick up the stamp, stamp "So Sorry." And then I'm going to use these other two dies, also in the Brilliant Wings set, to cut some detail here. And this won't cut through, but it will make a pattern. So that's what I've done here. So now we can glue this piece to the inside of the card. Before I go, here's another sample using the Hinge stamping technique, but this time I used it in all the 2022 to 2024 in colour inks, and I use these dies, which are called the pretty pop-up dies. So just these little elements here, and that's the inside. So that's the card finished. I hope you enjoyed this technique. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll be back with more inspiration next time. Bye!